Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, dear students and learners. Welcome once again to today's lecture. So, let's start today's lecture. Our today's competency is reading and curriculum and lecture 3C. Dear learners, we know very well for going into deep topic must know in detail about the SLO. So, we have reached at the SLO and first look at SLO, what the SLO is saying. So, identify different points of view. The SLO starts with identify different points of view. For example, first person, third person narrative. So, my dear learners, it is very clear from the SLO that we are talking about the narrators. Narrators mean the person who tells a story. There are two types of narrators this SLO is describing, first person and third person. So let's move to the next stage and let's have what is ahead for you and for us. And you know very well, after that, we talk about vertical linkage and brainstorming. Yes, move to the vertical linkage. Yes, look at this. This is English 6 SLO, and in vertical linkage, the SLO is describing identify the speaker of a poem or story. Here, the SLO is just talking about the speaker, but in class 7, we turn the speaker into persons, first person and second person or third person. Next, move to the brainstorming. Yes, brainstorming. Now, my dear students, you have very well aware about this term. Brainstorming is a term in which we start our brain and prepare our brain for further details and all the details which are dispersed in our mind, but we collect and try to connect with the topic. Yes. Now, look at this statement. Point of view tells us who is telling the story. Yes, point of view tells us who is telling the story. Yes, here, point of view means that the person who telling the story, whether the narrator is part of the story or watching from outside, whether it is first person or whether it is not first person. So, dear learners, it is all about brainstorming now. Let's move and try to understand in detail about this topic, right? Yes, points of view in stories, first person and third person. Yes, look at this. What is first person? Point of view. The narrator is inside the story and talks about himself, herself. Yes, the first person is that person, or the first person point of view means the narrator is inside the story and talks about himself or herself. If if the storyteller is male, he should be called as himself, and if the storyteller is female, then he will be called as herself. So it means that first person point of view, the narrator may be the part of the story. Now, there are the clue words from which words we can identify. This is called first person point of view or the narrator. I, me, my, we, us, ours. These are the clue words. When these words are used on the place of the narrator or the point of view teller, then we can understand that this is the first person narrator. Yes, example, I woke up early today. Yes, this is the clue word. We are going to the market. Here, we word is a clue word. From these two I and we words, we can conclude and we can identify that these narrators are these point of view of the first person. Now look at this. First person is like talking a taking a selfie. Yes, first person is like taking a selfie. The story is about me. Yes, very appropriate example in which if anybody, any boy, any girl is taking a selfie of herself or himself, it means that this is all about himself or herself. In the same case, in the story is about her, or the story in which the narrator is the part of that story and telling about herself, including himself or herself, that is called first person point of view. So, dear learners, this is called first person point of view. Now, move to the next point and let's have what is we are going to learn. Yes, now the third person point of view. It means that the third person narrator. The narrator is outside the story. First person is the inside the story person, but the narrator is outside the story. That is called third person point of view, and talks about other people, not himself or herself, other people. Right. Clue words are he, she, him, her, they. These are the clue words, them and their. These are also the clue words for third person point of view. Example, he ran fast to school. Yes, he. They played football in the ground. Here, the word they is a clue for third person point of view. Now, look at the analogy. Third person is like taking a picture of other people, not himself or herself. So, dear learners, third person narrator or third person point of view means talk about other, not himself or herself. Now, move to the next stage and next point. Yes, this is comparison table. Now we compare these two persons, first person and third person point of view. Narrator is inside the story in first person, and in third person narrator is outside the story. Now use I, me, my, these are the clue words, but in third person use is he, she, it, they. These are the clue words for third person point of view. In first person point of view feels personal, but in third person point of view feels like watching others, not personally. Yes, and if we look at the example of first person, now you are looking at I went home. Definitely I is there. It means that it is first person point of view. And in third person, look at this the example. She went home. Now she is using this is the clue word, and we can conclude that this is third person point of view. Now, my dear learners, you have very successfully compared two point of views, that is first person point of view and third person point of view, very clearly. Now, let's move to the next point. Yes, why point of view is important. Yes, it helps us understand. It means that point of view helps us understand who is speaking, how the narrator feels, what the narrator knows, how the story is told. So that's why. So now, dear learners, these are the points which are very important. For these points, we are very well aware. These points tell us about the narrator. Now, let's move to the next point. Yes, you know very well there are simulation for your further explanation of the topic. You can use them. Worksheets are also attached here with the PPTs, and these are our resources. Presentation mean PPTs, worksheets, skill sheets, question bank, and lesson plans are there. So, my dear learners and dear students, this is all about today's lecture. Thank you so much for listening and learning. Now, it's time to say you goodbye. Now, I would like that you people take care of yourself a lot and see you in the next lecture tomorrow. Allah Hafiz.